Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. I've got I don't want to say a big show lined up for you. This is not going to be a fun show for me, but anyway, it's something that needs to be done. That's this right here, Urban Meyer 2.0. Can Kirby fix the problem? I've covered this a couple times. I never really enjoy it very much because it involves a lot of serious stuff, and there's a real dangerous situation down in Athens, Georgia. Kirby has tried to solve it, but what he's using and what he's doing is not working. That's very obvious at this point. And the other issue is this. The national media, they're taking strong notice of what's happening down there, and they are on the verge of coming down on Kirby like you cannot believe. And for the Georgia fans out there, oh, you're just doing this video to give us crap. No, I'm not. I'm letting you know. I have been through this before with the University of Tennessee. If you'll remember, we didn't hire Greg Schiano. And oh my gosh, the national media, they came down on us like a ton of bricks. They wore us out for years over it. There are still national media types out there that take shots at us all the time because of it. And what you're getting ready to have is the Urban Meyer treatment. Kirby Smart has won 2 national titles. That makes him a target, whether you like it or not. And when you start having serious problems like this, like they're having at Georgia, you're going to get nailed. So what he's going to have to do is really fix this. And I'm going to bring receipts. I'm telling you right now, Georgia fans, you need to listen to me on this. I'm going to give you prime examples of what I'm talking about. Now, we all know about the Rah Thomas thing. He got arrested, domestic violence. I'm not going to go into all the details of that. But that just opens up the wound that's already super fresh. Now, let me show you what the national media, where they're headed with this. Here's the first article. Kirby Smart should be fired. College football world rips Georgia head coach to shreds as Bulldogs criminal culture grabs limelight yet again. It says the Bulldogs are losing a lot of points from their reputation as more and more incidents of players getting arrested. With so much negative spotlight on the team, Kirby Smart is being called out for being a bad leader, for letting loose a frenzy of lack of discipline within the program. And they're under so much fire that their fans are actually calling for him to be retired, etc. I don't necessarily believe all that, but I'm just letting you see what's happening out there because I know how the Georgia Bulldog fans are. They're a lot like the Tennessee fans, which I am one of. You live in your own little bubble. You read all the Georgia Bulldog stuff, you know, from those websites, and they're not going to sit here and show you all this crap. I'm letting you know it because I see this freight train heading down the track, and it's coming straight at Kirby and straight at the Bulldogs. And he is the one person that can solve this. But let me continue on with this article just so you understand the taste of it. Then I'll show you another one, and then I'll talk to you about what needs to happen. Back in January of 2023, the players from the team were reportedly involved in over 24 driving-related violations, including charges like DUI, reckless driving, speeding, and of course we know about the racing. And there's a big-time racing culture down there. I don't know why it's specifically at Georgia. I'm sure there's many others. You've got young players with lots of money. They're buying these super fast cars. They want to all act like it's Fast and the Furious 5 or 7 or how many of those movies are out there. And they all want to drift and do all that kind of crap, which is incredibly dangerous. As a matter of fact, the star of Fast and the Furious, if you'll remember, he died doing that. So it's incredibly reckless. And these guys, they're not professional drivers. They haven't been trained at this. And they're on the streets of Athens doing this crazy crap. It's got to stop. Here it also talks about the 2 young people that died, which is just tragic. Now it talks about how Kirby Smart and his release are being demanded by the fans. You know, like I said, I'm sure you can find some fans that want that. I'm not necessarily buying all that because I don't think the Georgia fans want that. But this is a prime example. Let me show you another story. Here you go. Kirby Smart shows he doesn't get it with the latest comments on Georgia driving offenses. Says the Georgia Bulldogs just can't stop getting behind the wheel of a car and breaking the law. Brett McMurphy says Kirby Smart said about the players and the 24 driving violations, the number one thing, I'm disappointed. Anytime you have a situation like that, you want your players to make better decisions. I always say you can't be outcome related, and I'm very disappointed in the outcomes, but I'm also very pleased with our process we put in terms of education, driver safety, requiring defensive driving and education. We have a really good locker room, and I feel really good about that. I love the players that we have. Says his latest comments show that he still hasn't solved that issue. In fact, it shows Smart doesn't particularly care to fix it either. says, we have countless pieces of evidence now that Georgia's process stinks to high heavens. It's not only offensive that Smart would suggest his program has a good process in place, it's also wildly insensitive. It's insensitive to the families of the people that it's just, he's getting ripped nationally. I'm just letting you know. And Georgia is one major incident away from it being an absolute train wreck like you can't believe. And I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see any young people get hurt. I don't want to see any innocent people out there in Athens driving along at night. They don't know what there's racing going on. And I don't want to see anybody innocent get killed or hurt. So Kirby Smart can solve this. Here's how you solve it. You've got the best team in the country you have for the last 3 years. There's a transfer portal out there. If you have to let guys go and throw them off the team, guess what? There are 4-star after 4-star waiting in line. Can't wait to come play for the Georgia Bulldogs and win a national title. They're lined up waiting to go. You just picked up one of the best running backs in the country out of Florida. And of course, he came and immediately got in trouble. Driving, of course. But there's plenty of players out there. And it's not like you're ruining their careers because they can go get onto another team. You just can't have them on the Georgia Bulldogs anymore. It's just what it boils down to. And here's the other thing that you need to remember. Next year, you're going to have 105 scholarships instead of 85. So you'll have 20 additional scholarship players on your team. That's just a fact. So if you have to let some guys go and throw them off the team, that's what you're going to have to do. And suspension should be easy at this point. And there's plenty of games that Georgia plays that are not against the absolute top of the top where you could suspend guys and make it in every one of the NIL deals that if you get suspended for a game, you lose all financial benefits from that game. For example, if there's 14 games you play in a year, break that down as like 7% of whatever your total income is for that year. You get suspended, you lose that. You get suspended for 4 games, that's 28% of your income. That's another way to get their attention. But you're going to have to start being very strict on this driving issue because it's too dangerous and you're on the verge of being on the hot seat, not because the Georgia Bulldogs want rid of you or the fan base. I don't believe that. Because the national media is going to destroy your reputation. You are going to become Urban Meyer 2.0. Urban won 3 national titles. 3. And now nobody thinks highly of him. As a matter of fact, they think that he's not worth a crap as a human being. I don't know if that's true. I mean, how much did he really do himself? Most of it was crap that the players did, but he allowed it. He let that fester in the locker room, and that's what's happening in Georgia. You're letting this crap fester, and it may not be as serious as what Urban Meyer's players did, but we're in 2024. Everything is more sensitive. Everything is put under a microscope in social media, and that's what's happening. So if Kirby doesn't solve this, I'm just telling you right now, the national media is getting ready to deluge on this guy like you can't believe. You are one major incident away. That's just a fact. So you can sit here and say, hey, I'm piling on and do all that. And I'm not. I am absolutely not. I'm telling you right now, you better solve this problem. I think Kirby's probably a really good dude. And he obviously is a great coach. But his reputation is being destroyed right now. And that's the least of the problems. If somebody gets badly hurt or worse, I'm just telling you, it's got to be, and he can solve it. I promise you, if he lets some guys go off that team for this kind of crap, suspend them, do all that kind of stuff that you've got to do to really solve this, you know what the Georgia fan base is going to say? Good job. Good job, buddy. We got your back. And again, next year you got 20 extra scholarships. It's not going to hurt your team. It's not. You're still going to have the most talented team in the country. You're still going to have the best recruiting footprint in the world and no competition in state. You're going to be fine. But you're going to be upset when something happens with Kirby. And here's the other situation that you need to kind of understand. The president and all of this big faculty folks, if they get enough peer pressure from them from the top or from their peers, don't be surprised if something's got to be done with Kirby if he doesn't solve this. I'm just letting you know how politics work. And I can see the politics that are happening around Georgia that y'all may not be aware of. They're coming for him. They just are. All they're doing is waiting for something big to happen, and they're going to absolutely rip him to shreds. And I really don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I'm not looking to see Kirby get thrown out or anything like that. But he needs to solve the problem. And I don't want to hear him a year from now if something bad happens. Oh, well, I was doing it. No, you're not. You're not getting it done. You know what you do with a player that doesn't get it done on the field? You bench them. And if they don't practice hard, you throw them off a team. Well, this is the exact same situation. Fix it, Kirby. Fix it. Anyway, again, I don't like doing this type of video. I didn't put my fun stuff in there, and I always feel bad afterwards, but I can just see the train wreck coming, and there's no point in it. And if you want to be Urban Meyer 2.0, just keep letting things happen, Kirby. Just keep letting it happen. You'll be the next Urban Meyer. That's the way it's going to be. So solve it. It's frustrating to me because he's got all the power and he acts like he doesn't. You do. Anyway, don't worry about hitting the like button or the subscribe button. I'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay when I will do another positive video. I had to say this the last time I covered Georgia. Dang it, hit my daggone hand. See what happens? Ticks me off. Fix it, Kirby. See you next time. Bye.